Hi, boys and girls. This is Seminarian Steve here, and this week I am at the parish of the Cure of Ars, which is located in Merrick. So, this week in the Gospel, it may have sounded very familiar to most of you because the Gospel begins with Jesus praying the Our Father. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. It's probably a prayer that most of you are familiar with. And maybe even if you don't know all the words, you've heard it before. Because where do we hear this prayer? We hear it every time we come to Mass, whether you come during the week or whether you go on Sundays. The Our Father is always said at every Mass. And maybe some of your families pray the Rosary. The Rosary also has the Our Father. So this prayer comes up a lot in our faith, which tells us that if something comes up a lot, it must be very important. And what is Jesus trying to say with this prayer? What's going on? Well, the first thing is that he's saying, when we say our Father, it unites the entire human family, that we come from, that God is the head. He is our Father. And it's a great way to kind of think about how we may have friends who have different beliefs than us, different opinions. Maybe some kids you don't like at school, something like that. But ultimately, it unites us as a whole family, and that ultimately should bring us peace. But the more important thing that Jesus is saying is that prayer is very important. And what is prayer? Prayer is talking with God. And that's what Jesus is trying to get up that's what the gospel is trying to say this week. That for us as Christians, for us as Catholics, even if we're really, even if we're young, we could still have a relationship with God. Because as we get older, our relationship with God will get more mature, more advanced. But for right now, we should be starting this relationship, this friendship with God. And how do we start this friendship with God? Well, Jesus says, if you think it's difficult to talk to God, you don't really know how to go about it, here's what you pray: the Our Father. So maybe this summer, if you don't know the Our Father, I highly recommend that you try and know it. It could seem long, but it really is a short prayer. Um, and just like maybe kind of say it like once a day, just to get it in your mind. That way you have it, you can recall it. And when you go to school, when you go to religious ed in the fall, um, and you guys pray before class, it's just very easy to memorize. So this week is actually a challenge maybe for some of you boys and girls. It's to start learning the Our Father and to have this communication, this dialogue, a talking with God for the summer. Because again, we know the summer months come and God can kind of be maybe put in the back seat. We don't really think about him as much. But when we're more relaxed, this is the perfect time to start talking with God because we're able to be more free, more open. So use this next week as a starting point, a beginning to talk with God. Start with once a week, or maybe you could talk with God every day if you're able to.